Well, yeah, certainly. I mean, it was our fault. We made a mistake. The spotter said it was clear. It wasn't clear, and, you know, I didn't want to tear my car up, tear his car up either. I respect everybody, and I demand respect. And, you know, I apologized to the guy when he came over the car, explained to him what happened, and then he took it to another level when he started calling me an idiot and whatever else. And I don't appreciate that. I'm not going to take it. I told him how I felt. I called him out. He didn't show. You know, and so, you know, I'm good with it if he's good with it, but I'm not going to be disrespected by no means.
Yeah, I guess I had a dinner date at Applebee's last night that I didn't find out about until it was too late. It's a shame. I love their riblets and boneless wings, but...
All right, folks, welcome back to Meet Me at Applebee's, your number one unrefined motorsports podcast. It's Brien here with Rob and Ashley, and we have... the Brickyard to talk about this week, and boy, is there all sorts of things to talk about. So, folks, how we doing this week?
I'm exhausted, Brian. I really am. It was a very long weekend. It was a great weekend. Had a good time, but definitely a 25-year-old weekend for a 42-year-old man. And I think Truelove is probably in a similar condition. Isn't that right?
Very similar. My throat hurts from a long weekend on Broadway in Nashville, so I probably sound like a 42-year-old man.
Yeah, woohooing, lots of woohoos.
Oh yeah.
Did you ride the shot bike?
Absolutely not.
You did get to go to the Ryman, though, right? Am I getting ahead of things? I know there's a Nashville note in here. I don't want to ruin the show.
Yeah, but I wasn't really going to talk about the Ryman then, but yeah, 2 nights at the Ryman. Blackberry Smoke was playing, so got to tag along with Andy for work, and Jason Newstead was the opener, so that was cool.
Oh, God, the Chop House Band.
Yeah.
They were good. They were really good live. So
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. They were. Well,
I know. They played my hometown recently, and I heard some jokes about it.
They got to be better than Echo Brain was. For all you,
Echo Brain was awful.
For all you Some Kind of Monster fans out there,
I have an Echo Brain shirt just because of how much I love Some Kind of Monster. The greatest unintentional comedic documentary of all time.
100%. We could have a whole podcast just about Some Kind of Monster.
Yes, we could. Absolutely.
We can just do that now if you want, to be honest with you. Yeah, I watched that a couple weeks ago. It's like a sort of quarterly deal for me.
Wow.
And it's a fantastic piece of film.
Yes.
Oh yeah, didn't ask him about it, so
yeah. Why he wasn't in it?
Exactly.
As much as I'd love to talk about Some Kind of Monster for 2 hours, we do have some racing to talk about.
We do.
So all the series were in Indy this weekend, both at IRP and the Brickyard, and the weekend started off with ARCA, which I didn't watch a second of, so somebody will have to inform me of what happened.
I also did not watch a second of it, but I went back and watched the highlights, so I can tell you all about the highlights. I don't know. Carson Brown was on the pole. There was a wreck with Tristan McKee and Max Reeves. There was another wreck with Isabella Robusto and Max Reeves. Carson Brown led most of the race until about halfway, and Caden Honeycutt passed him. And then the rest of the race was just those two battling it out on every restart. And lap cars getting in their way. And there was 6 to go. What did I say his name was? Carson. Too many Carsons. Carson Brown, his car shut off with 6 to go from second place. So Caden Honeycutt won.
Well, shit, that's no good.
Sounds like a Cars Tour race.
Mm-hmm.
You could have told me that was a Cars Tour race, and I would have believed you.
You would have. So.
That Max Reeves kid's a real shithead, huh?
Oh, yeah. Big time, buddy.
Yeah. He is, and he looks like it, too.
Yeah, and remember, folks, anytime you go through the Cookout drive-thru, you're helping support this abomination, so...
It's a good thing I don't like Cookout, so there's that.
There's no ethical consumption under capitalism, and I don't give a fuck. You can try and pry the tray out of my cold, dead hands, but yeah, just something to think about when you're getting your quesadilla at 2 in the morning.
Yeah, Brien was supposed to take us to Cookout, but
Yeah, it's not happening anymore. We can still go. I was really sad. I missed both IRP races just by virtue of being on the highway or at Claremont as they were happening. And I really love that racetrack, and I was looking forward to trying to get a chance to watch at least the truck race, but yeah, it just didn't happen. I was bummed.
Well, you got stuff to do. You're in the racing business now, and again, that's part of being in the racing business. You're gonna miss
Racing,
other races.
yeah, that's
you
true.
Watch. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love IRP. It's one of my favorite tracks that NASCAR goes to, and I'm glad it's back. That's for sure. And hopefully the truck race lived up to that. I assume one of you watched that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I did.
Watch the highlights.
Truelove. Yeah.
Nice.
Of course, my notes are not great, but it was really a lane rig show for the most part. I mean, he led almost every lap. Caden Honeycutt was up there for a minute, but then he kind of faded, and I don't think he really had. I mean, he had some challenge from his teammate, Chandler Smith, but it was really just good action throughout the pack. But yeah, it was a lane rig show all night, and he very much earned the victory.
yeah, swept both stages. There was only one caution for incident the whole race. And your boy Mikey Christopher Jr. was in the race, though.
How did he do?
He got a top 10.
Did he?
He did.
I think
Fuck,
he-
yes.
Yep, 10th.
Come on, let's go. That's great news, because I didn't watch.
I think he was up to 8th at one point, so pretty good.
Yeah, they were talking about him on the broadcast and showing him and stuff. And yeah, he was in the top 10 all night, so he did well.
Was he driving for Halmar?
Now you're asking too many questions. Yeah, yes, he
think
was,
His team?
actually.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Good for him. Yeah, I you guys know I love anything Christopher related, so that's good news.
Yeah. Yep. I'm trying to think. There was some other new driver that I'd never heard of with a weird last name.
Gonna have to be more specific than that. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up the entry list and I'm gonna see if I can guess who it was.
Yeah, let's look
Okay,
here.
go ahead. I'll pull up the results and
Yeah.
we'll see who was right.
Truck series results. Here we go. Boy,
These all look like the usual weirdos to me. There's a couple weird first names.
Lucas.
You got a guess yet, Rob, or what?
No, I'm just pulling it up on J-Ski. Let's see here. New people?
Yeah. Staring right at it right now.
Castine Everidge?
No, because that guy was not anywhere near the front. No, Gavin Boschelle in the Tricon truck.
Oh,
He got 8.
how-
How do you not know who Gavin Boschelle is?
Yeah, Jay used to work for
Yeah,
him.
Jay worked for him.
I don't fucking know anything. Where is he from? Why should I know his name?
North Carolina, yeah. Like our friend of the program, Jay Pennell, he's sort of assisted with his career. I don't know if he still does, but he did for a while in the early days. And Gavin's run a bunch of late model stuff. He's gone to the Chili Bowl, done a bunch of USAC stuff, Trans Am. He's kind of on that do as much as you can kind of path. I think we haven't heard as much about Gavin recently because of the Trans Am stuff and the sports car stuff he's been doing. But yeah,
Yeah,
he's
very much shit I know absolutely nothing about.
Wow.
So, yeah, that is- when have I ever brought up sports car racing other than like, oh, there's a race happening somewhere?
Jay's our
I know-
friend, Brien, and he talks about Gavin.
I can't recall him talking about this at all. Nothing, just all over my head. So
I was back here staring at the name Monty. Who names their kid Monty?
Oh, that's a Monty Tipton in the Bare Bones Ford.
Monty is a cool old school name.
It is. Who else we got here? Let's just go through the list and see who's got they all got fucking weird names.
This last name, Makinko, is a new one for
Jackson
me.
McKinko. Never heard of him either.
Yeah.
Yep, so these are truck notes, y'all.
I forgot Connor Daly was in the race. Obviously, that didn't matter because he was in a Ram truck, so why would anybody talk about him?
But he still finished ahead of Minnie Terrell, so
Yep.
how about that?
And Frankie Muniz.
Yeah. Any depressing tweets from Frankie this week we need to know about?
There was that weird one that Brien sent us about his child.
What?
There's some lady cussing him out about...
Oh, yeah, he was flying somewhere, and, like, somebody said something about his kid. Yeah, oh, here it is. Man, I hate saying goodbye to my son. You'd think I'd be used to it by now, but it just gets harder and harder. Trusting in God to help get through this not fun patch while trying to be fun for him. And then, yeah, some woman was like, or try to fix your relationship with his mom. My son's father is dead. We were separated when he died. To say I would change so many things about myself to have fixed us, I think about that all the time. Grass isn't greener. And Frankie just responds, I'm flying to work.
Yeah, usually we save this sort of advice for the Darf of the Week section, but we don't need to be saying all that on the internet. We don't need to be saying all that. We can keep that to ourselves. Maybe if you have a therapist, that's fine, close friends, whatever. You know, there are appropriate places for that, and X is not one of those.
Yeah.
To a celebrity race car driver.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Former child star.
I'm flying to work.
Okay, I'm going to screenshot that now just so we have it.
Good, yeah.
Okay. Now on to Saturday, the big track. You know, obviously, if you're listening to this show, you know the historic moment that once happened at Indianapolis in the Busch Series with Michael Annett and Mike Harmon.
Yes.
The infamous Applebee's incident took place, 2019. And, obviously, we lost Michael Annett last year. And, Harmon was running his car with Dawson Cram, I believe, this past weekend. And he paid tribute to Michael Annett in what I feel is the most fitting and perfect way possible by running a bootleg Applebee's logo on his car.
Yes. Yes.
So bootleg.
And I say bootleg because if you look at it, I'm sure this was his way of trying to avoid any sort of copyright issues or whatever. But
I know how that goes.
the apple is like sitting on the P's in Applebee's, where if you look at the actual Applebee's logo, it's not touching the letters. So, but still, the fact that he made that gesture, absolutely just perfect, and I love it. I can't wait till we eventually have him on the show and get to talk to him about that. So.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, before we get into the Busch race, this wasn't really talked about all that much, and I can't believe I didn't mention it on the septic tank last week, but USAC sprint cars were at the dirt track at Indy this week, and Justin Grant picked up the win. So another little piece of racing there, which makes me really sad that I wasn't able to get to Indy to use our free tickets. There's going to be more on that later. Apparently there might be more on the way, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, what a jam-packed weekend this was for all the folks in Indianapolis.
I think it was actually David Starr in that car who was also blocking leaders from multiple laps down all day.
That's what he does best.
Yeah, I think I saw him multiple laps down in stage 1, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, you know where you can meet him and Mike.
Race itself, I mean, it was fine. Indy's, we're going to get to in a minute with how, NASCAR doesn't really run that well on the big track. But, the Busch races, there's still some passing to be done and some battles and stuff. So I'm trying to remember, am I the only one still that watched this entire race? Did you get to watch any of the highlights?
I watched the last 15 minutes from dressing room at the Ryman, so I at least saw the end. Okay,
well, I'm trying to remember, like, Sheldon Creed led almost the whole first stage, but he faded back to like 5th or 6th in the last couple laps of the stage. He still managed to run up in the top 5 most of the day.
Jeremy Clements got a stage win.
Yeah, that was very odd. Yeah, Jeremy Clements got a stage win. I can't recall like any big wrecks or anything crazy happening on the track.
Yeah, I think there was only one caution for incident, and it was Garrett Smithley spinning. So shocking.
Yeah, you'll have that.
Yeah.
Carruth won stage 2.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think when Carson Quapple got the lead.
22 laps to go.
Okay. I do remember Allgaier kind of running up on him, and it seemed like he was going to catch him because I know Carson's car was getting kind of loose towards the end, but thankfully he did not beat his teammate yet again, and Carson got his first ever Busch Series race, or Busch Series victory. Very cool moment for him. Dale Jr. was like tearing up in the post-race interview, just so excited to finally get his little protege a win.
Yeah. Also, a really cool video of Travis Quapple out at Hampton Heat, watching it on his phone. Mm-hmm. Caden was running that race and actually won that one too. So it was a good weekend to be a Quapple.
Yeah, for sure. But then the controversy after the race, of course. So Carson apparently didn't get the memo that you're not supposed to do a burnout over the bricks at the start-finish line, and he did that. And boy, were a lot of people pissy online afterwards about this, which is a little bit silly. I mean, he didn't mean to do that.
Who cares if he did? I don't.
Yeah, and who cares? Like, the bricks aren't going. Bricks aren't going anywhere. They've been there for 130 years as it is. Like, they're bricks.
Yeah.
You know, a tire, you're gonna scrape off like a half a millimeter of fucking brick dust doing that, maybe. You know, who the hell gives a shit?
Yeah, there's a pile of them in the creek in the middle of the racetrack. Yeah. So, look, I think out of anyone at this booth here in Applebee's, I probably have the strongest opinions about the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Maybe that's fair to say.
Yes.
I think that is the most sacred place in the world when it comes to motorsports. I don't think that's an unpopular opinion, but I do believe it. It's been in operation since before World War I. I understand how important that place is, and what those bricks mean, and that people have died there. And there's, again, all the ridiculous shit that people were saying on the internet over the past few days. I actually agree with it, but let's not get too precious here. It's a fucking racetrack, and they're bricks. They're going to be there. They're going to stick around. And believe me, Roger Penske will have the boys down there fucking ruining them with wire brushes just like he did last time.
They did immediately.
Yeah. And for a place that has piss troughs that clean, trust me, the bricks are going to be fine. It's so we can all just pull the stick out of our asses and stop. My eyes were rolled so far back in my fucking head this whole weekend for a number of reasons, but this is the thing that pissed me off the most, was just how precious people got about that. It's like, just shut the fuck up. let the boy do a burnout on the bricks. Anyway, continue.
I mean, that's pretty much the gist of Saturday, really. You know, I can't think of anything else noteworthy as far as that race is concerned to talk about. So, yeah, good for Carson. Glad to... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say my only other notes were JRM finished first through fourth, which is the first time that's ever been done by a team in O'Reilly history. And now there's 7 drivers locked into the chase from O'Reilly, so only 5 spots left.
Well, cool. That's good.
That's all I got.
Yeah, who's on the cut line here? Let me take a look. I don't have that. It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. We'll talk about it next week.
I've already pulling it up here. The cut line, William Sawalich is 7 points behind Taylor Gray, who was in 12th, and Raja is 20 points out of 12th in 14th. So those are the 2 cut line guys. Ryan Sieg's in 15th, but he's like 70-something points behind, and Alfredo's 100-something points behind. So really, I would say Sawalich, Gray, and Carruth are And Brent Cruz, they're all within like 30 points of each other, above or below the cut line.
Yeah,
So.
and I believe that Raja's about to enter his period of running exclusively for JRM, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
So that's gonna help.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So now on to Sunday. All three of us had tickets, and none of us were there.
Yeah, how are y'all's seats?
Probably hot.
Yeah, that section that we were all seated in, or at least the one I think we all got tickets in, was noticeably empty. I don't think that was our fault, because I just don't think it was, or nobody showed up.
with a front stretch that seats 150,000 people and only 70,000 showing up, I'm sure everybody was not in the seat they were supposed to be in.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I do know a friend of the show and local Clevelander, Adam Laporta. He went.
Nice.
And then my coworker Justin, he also went because he somehow got 8 tickets and brought a bunch of friends. But I know I talked to him. He didn't get home till like 12:30 that night, and he was up at 5 in the morning to get there. And again, he's half my age, and I wasn't really needing to go party with a bunch of college kids. So I just watched from home, and I can't say I was upset about it after the race we got. So.
Yeah. A friend of the program, Alex Hammett, he did text me and ask me, where are you? Because he had tickets too. And I said, I'm sitting in traffic, should be there by next year. Which, that's pretty much the deal. So many of those texts rolling in all day of like, hey, where are you at? I can't find you, from people who weren't there. So hopefully they do this promotion again. Because one of these days I'll actually go.
They're already sending us emails asking us to renew our tickets and to fill out the fan survey about our experience. So
I will do so. It was great. Mm-hmm. And I will, as long as the price stays the same, I will be renewing my tickets.
Yeah. Truelove, did you get to see any of the pre-race stuff? Because I didn't watch any of that, of course.
No, I had to watch the whole race on my phone, so.
Oh, okay. That sucks. What is this note about Logano growing his hair back? Is that because he finished well?
I didn't add this.
I added that. Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get to it.
Okay. Yeah, this race, I mean, fuck, man. It's pretty much exactly what we expected it to be with this car and this configuration. I mean, granted, Indy's never been an incredibly active track for NASCAR. Even back in the 90s. I mean, yeah, you could pass, but it still was difficult. And this car fucking sucks, man. There hasn't been a green flag pass for the lead at all in the next gen era, and there hasn't been a green flag pass for the lead since 2017 at this race. So, it was just cars following each other all fucking day. The restarts were where the main action was. There were a couple cautions, which we'll mention, but it was just follow the leader, and nobody could fucking pass. So, not a very exciting race at all, which is why it got, definitely the racing itself was why it got 22% in the Gluck poll, but also I'm sure the Hocevassies came out and voted no on it also. So,
which is funny because it really wasn't all that bad of a race for him at the end of the day, but we'll get into that in a couple minutes. I gotta say, I didn't hate this for what we knew. We got everything we expected, but I thought the strategy was compelling, and I guess we can start talking about, or this will kind of feed into talking about Carson and Corey Heim getting into it a little bit. I thought the strategy was great, but the fact that you just can't, the aero wake off these cars is so big, and you can't get around somebody. You just cannot do it. And even at the finish, I thought that, not to get ahead of myself here, but I thought that was setting up to be pretty good, but we all knew exactly what was going to happen. Yeah. We knew that Christopher Bell, even though he was faster, and Joey Logano, even though he was faster, you knew exactly. I don't think Corey Heim was holding that 3/10 gap. I think that was just that's the amount of time it takes to break the wake, but I don't know.
Yeah, the only thing that was gonna cause a pass was if somebody screwed up, and Heim was definitely on the edge of losing it towards the end, but he still kept his composure. But I mean, you just couldn't fucking pass.
And a big talking point about the race, of course, Carson Hocevar flipping off Corey Heim, which I thought was hilarious. But part of the reason he was so pissed was that he just couldn't pass him. And there was nothing he could do to do it. And those guys hate each other already, which made it even funnier. This rivalry is going to be so fun to watch for the next 10 years or however long it lasts. And I'm excited about it. And I'm sure you guys have thoughts on that as well. But, yeah, like when you saw that happen, you kind of knew exactly how the rest of the race was going to play out. If there was to be some sort of chase towards the end, there's just no chance. As long as you can hold the bottom, you're not going to pass the leader.
Yeah. Truelove, I'll let you say your piece about Hyman and Hocevar before I get into it. I know I'm going to piss some people off, probably.
Yeah, I mean, Rob thought it was funny. I thought it was just more of Hocevar being immature as always. Like, I don't know how you get mad at a guy who's the leader, keeping a lap car behind you. Obviously, you're going to try to keep a competitor behind you. But yeah, just very immature. Typical Hocevar. I thought it was funny that on Hocevar's radio, he said, right before this happened, Hocevar said, he's irrelevant to me, and then to go out of your way to try to show him that he is actually relevant to you by flipping him off.
Yeah, they fucking hate each other.
Yeah, well, it's funny that he says he's irrelevant to me because, like, obviously Hocevar, he is trying to get into the minds of all his competitors by having, this kind of lackadaisical attitude and having fun and shit talking and like trade in your favorite driver's t-shirts for one of mine and, fucking revving the engine at Zane Smith when he's going a lap down and stuff. And that's all well and good, but the biggest mistake, I have said this multiple times, the biggest mistake he will have ever made in his career was wrecking Corey Heim at that truck race, because now Corey Heim is going to be up his ass, driving him that way, and beating him for probably the next 15, 20 years, whatever.
Well, I think they hated each other a lot longer than that. But that was definitely the blowover point.
But that ruined it. And again, them both being kids and obviously, Carson didn't do anything to rectify the situation, and that's where they're at now.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that Carson Hocevar doesn't give a fuck, and that's what I like about him. But also, Corey Heim doesn't give a fuck either, and that's been made evident this week that he's not shaken by that shit. He knows Carson. He's raced with Carson more than a lot of these guys have, and they came up together. So I think he's well equipped to handle that, and Carson's lack of give a fuck is also shared by Heim as well, and Heim's in a faster car right now, so
that's where I think you're a bit wrong, because Carson, here's the deal, Carson, he is like the most raised on the internet driver in the entire NASCAR, every series there is. Like, he knows how to get people's attention. He knows how to get people talking about him. He's slutting it up with TikTok girls and reporters on social media, and he's doing other shit with other social media influencers, and he's Twitch streaming, and he's saying all this shit online. Yeah, I'm sure on some level it appears like he doesn't give a fuck, but him and Heim, he gives a fuck. Like, you cannot tell me he doesn't. He absolutely does.
My opinion of Hocevar is that he deeply gives a fuck. He comes across to me as so insecure and pick me. Everything he does is to try to get people to like him. Obviously not his competitors who don't respect him, and they shouldn't, but fans in general, he deeply gives a fuck about what fans think, which I think is also why he went on that whole nostalgia rant today, because he saw that this little fight that he tried to pick with Heim backfired on him this weekend, and there was some, made him look bad. So then he goes on this whole nostalgia rant to distract from that.
I don't think that's true. That's silly. I don't think that's true.
I think going back to what I said about him knowing how to use the internet to his advantage, I do think that is a way to get the conversation back in his good graces.
Exactly.
And also, to compliment him, I do think a lot of the stuff he's doing is good. It is drawing more attention, and he's trying to get people outside of necessarily the NASCAR bubble to pay attention to the sport. And I do think that's all good stuff, and I think his personality and stuff. It's all good for racing. Don't get me wrong. And it sounds like I hate the guy, which I don't. I do like him, but at the same time, like, I can see why people don't like him, and I can also objectively notice things that I think he's trying to get people to think a certain way about him. So
yeah, on Sunday you did make a good point while we were watching the race, as he couldn't get around Heim. Heim was blocking him. Again, that's his right to do so. I think again Hocevar's just pissed off the situation. But you did mention that it's going to be funny if that's actually what cost him the race, which I don't think it did in total. Taking 4 tires in that last pit stop was suicidal. I don't know why they did that.
Priest did it
Priest
too.
did the same thing. Both of those guys were in the catbird seat, and their teams handed it away by going to 4 tires. I still don't get it. And still a top 10 day, but I don't know. Frankly, I'm sick of all of the bitching from everybody. Hocevar fans are reminding everybody of why we don't like Chase Elliott fans, or not all of them, but like a good majority of them. They behave in a similar way. Any driver who has a large fan base that gets really obsessive about it or whatever it is, they act like dickheads on the internet, and I'm tired of that.
And it's also it's going back to the online thing. He's getting a lot of these young, like, very online fans, like, and those are the types to say very stupid shit and, you know, completely are unable to look at situations objectively and, like, don't even necessarily totally understand the sport, and they're just gung-ho about defending their driver when he might not necessarily deserve it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Again,
fuck, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, this rivalry is awesome. I'm here for it.
Yes,
I'm very excited about it.
100%.
And I'm excited to see Corey Hyman in the 67 or whatever number they give it. Apparently he doesn't like that number.
He's 35. He committed to 30. He says 67's a goofy number, and he
I think it's
wants
his
35.
number that now, though, man. How are you going to win your first 2 races and not?
I'm not arguing
have the
that,
option
but
to keep it. Yeah.
He just doesn't want it.
He doesn't want it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is good. This is good shit.
I mean, there was one point where, you know, you can only really make passes on that first lap of the restart.
Yes.
And there was one restart where Heim and Hocevar went head-to-head, and Heim still straight up passed him. So
Yeah.
I just don't understand how shitty Chevy is right now. Again, Hocevar was the highest finishing Chevrolet in the field. He came in 9th. And after that, it was Cole Custer in 13th. So what the fuck is that about?
Well, you know.
Good for him. Yeah, he was up in the top 15 all day. I don't know where SHR found the speed or what they did, who they sacrificed to make that happen. But, yeah, not a lot of Chevrolets in the top 20, and it's kind of crazy.
Well, when 2 of the top Chevys wreck out, that kind of takes away a good chunk of your competitive nature, you know, like, you know, Larson crashed with
huge crash,
stage 1 or stage 2, and then Elliott cleared himself off Stenhouse and got into the wall and fucked his car up. So
man, fucking Cliff Daniels has got to stop fucking with tire pressure. He really needs to chill out with that. Give my boy a break.
especially with someone with a track record like Larson's. I mean,
well, I think a lot of those solo spins are kind of coming from the same thing. I mean, but it's been a fucked up past few weeks for all of Hendrick, really. I mean, Larson, he's finished in the 30s, 3 out of the last 4 races. Elliott, not much better. He came in 37th at Indy. Hasn't cracked the top 20 in a few weeks. Byron, same kind of deal. No Hendrick cars in the top 10 yesterday, which is crazy.
Yeah. You know, Byron's sitting in 12th in the points, and he'll probably still make it, but I mean, he's still down way farther than you would expect him to be, you know.
When Spire is giving somebody a run for their money as the top team at a manufacturer, that should ring some alarm bells at Mr. H's
they have all the Joe Gibbs setups.
Yeah, apparently. You know, yeah, it's crazy what happens when you hire a guy who worked at Joe Gibbs for 20 years, that his knowledge would go over there and apply to cars. It's fucking crazy how that works, huh?
Well, it
Hamlin called him the JGR satellite team.
Yeah. Back to, so again, somebody explain the Logano thing now, Rob.
Well, Joey Logano all of a sudden has just found speed. He's the old Joey again. And I don't. The only thing I can think of is he's starting to grow his hair back. He doesn't care how fucked up it's going to be. He's looking like Tobias Funke with the hair plugs underneath the helmet right now. I didn't see an interview with him, so I can't confirm or deny that. But I think he's probably taking some Rogaine or something, and he's got his groove back though. That's 2 weeks in a row where they've had at two wildly different racetracks. So I think that. Yes, or it's just the classic Logano midseason, guess I better be a race car driver decision he makes every single year. But he's now sitting 13th in the points, which is fucking insane after running in 80th place all year.
Yeah.
And he'll probably win again coming up. He'll probably win Loudon. It's going to piss me off.
Shave that man in his sleep.
Exactly. Yeah. Someone needs to go in there and keep the lawn trimmed for me. Because
put some Nair in a shampoo bottle.
That's good, yeah.
Some final little notes about the race. So, yeah, Ty Gibbs, he was leading a lot of the race, and it seemed like it was probably his to lose, but, there were a couple cautions in Stage 3 that kind of fucked things up for him as far as fuel mileage and stuff was concerned.
Fun little debris caution.
Yeah, there was a weird debris caution. I don't think they even showed the debris on TV. I don't remember seeing it.
It was just a small little chunk of something. They never showed what it was or where it came from.
Well, no, it was it was some sort of cap off something. And they were talking. It was funny. They were talking about how it was blowing. It wasn't blowing in the wind. It was, it's got to be pretty heavy. It's sitting in the racing groove. It's not going anywhere. And then a car passed and it immediately flipped up in the air and blew off.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Hamlin was definitely battling for the win, and I think he was leading towards the very end, but I think the last restart is when he didn't get a good push from Christopher Bell, and he tried getting around. He almost wrecked his own driver, going into turn one, but Heim was able to get away clean, and like I said, Christopher Bell and Logano were chasing him down, but again, couldn't do anything, couldn't touch Heim, and I think the 1 or 2 to go, really, Bell got really close, and then he had a bad, I think it was turn 2 maybe, and then Heim was able to drive off, and that was it. And Corey Heim earns his second win in 8 starts this season. Not even a full-time driver, and he's already got multiple Cup wins.
Yeah, the second best driver at 23:11 right now.
I'm just which we'll get to that at some point. But I honestly, if you could place bets for 2027 for the championship now, I wouldn't be opposed to throwing a few bucks on him. Not that I think he'll actually win. But I wouldn't be shocked if he's top 5 in points next year.
We've seen him win at 2 incredibly different racetracks in what is arguably the best car in the field. He's got Booty Barker on the box. I don't know if Booty's going to be with him next year as a crew chief or not. Mm-hmm. But, dude's got everything lined up, and I don't think that's a foolish bet to make, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
With as good as 2311's been running, I think I'll be doing the same. And you better do it now before everybody else does. Or maybe wait a couple weeks till everybody forgets. Don't ask me. I suck at betting.
But we also didn't talk about the bracket challenge. It was
the first time long. I've cared about it all year.
all day long. Gilliland was running 30th all day, whereas Blaney was hovering around the top 10. But then one of those last restarts in turn 3, there was a cluster of cars together, and one of our favorites, John Hunter Nemechek, just decided to stick his nose where it didn't belong and caused a multi-car wreck. Blaney got into the wall, and it seemed like his day was totally over with, but his car actually wasn't damaged as bad as it seemed. And he was able to get back up to 2 positions behind Gilliland, who pulled it off. $1 Million Dill.
Yes.
Won
$1 million came down to 24th position, a battle for 24th on the tracks.
Yeah. Which is why this shit is stupid, but good for Todd. That guy probably needs a good paycheck right about now. And to do it in the pickle car, that's something special.
For sure.
Yeah, I like Todd Gilliland. I have his pickle t-shirt, actually.
Yeah, we met him. He was a nice kid.
Good kid.
I definitely don't hate him. So yeah, that is the Brickyard, and of course, there's already been a bunch of discourse. Obviously, there's tons last week about is this a crown jewel race, which I don't even want to get into here because who the fuck cares?
It is, but yeah, who cares?
But
Kyle Petty.
Kyle Petty.
Fucking dumbass. I love Kyle Petty, but man, that guy, he loves to just
Hear himself talk.
Yeah. That's nicer than what I was going to say, so we'll stick with that. Got nothing against Kyle, though. Jesus Christ, man.
He's been a contrarian for the longest time with so many of his takes, and gets to be a bit much.
Especially the racetracks he didn't run very good at.
Which was a lot of them.
Yeah, he wanted to fill Darlington with water so they could fish out of it. I think it was Darlington, but whatever, it doesn't matter.
Yes, it was 100% Darlington.
Yeah.
So yeah, any last bits before we get on to the rest of the show?
I think you were about to get into this about the future of Indy and how whether what the problem is. Should we be going there? Should NASCAR be going there, etc. And I just want to say that it's the car. It's the fucking car, and it's been the car for 20 years.
Yeah.
Like, we were bitching about this. The reason why they started going to the road course in the first place is because the car raced like shit there. And again, like, the race we saw on Sunday wasn't inherently bad in spirit. And I've already said this, but, like, you knew what was going to happen when you saw Carson Hocevar get held up by Heim. And when you saw Christopher Bell and Joey Logano running Heim down at the end of the race. You knew they were going to get stuck in that bubble, and that was it, and you couldn't pass, and that's the show. So it's clearly a car problem that was not fixed by introducing this new car, which was supposed to fix all these problems in the first place. And frankly, as a fan, I'm fucking tired of hearing about it. You know, it's so exhausting that this has just been the cloud that's hung over NASCAR for, I don't know, at least 15 years. And it's a shame because we have seen good races there. I mean, look at the O'Reilly series, that race with Riley Herbst when he got his first win, which pretty much locked him up a deal of 23-11, if I remember correctly. That was excellent. Like, all the strategy and all that is great, and it always feeds into a finish like that. Even with the 500, it's kind of the same deal. And it's just this car, man. So keep Indy off your lips if you want to see that place go somewhere else or off the schedule, because I'm not having any Indy slander here, even if the bricks are filthy now after NASCAR went there. But...
Yeah, I don't have incredibly strong feelings either way about it, so I have nothing to add.
It's definitely more of a crown jewel than San Diego, for fuck's sake.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like,
one thing, you know, with all this crown jewel talk, listen, motherfucker, Talladega was one of the 4 races in the Winston Million
it was, yeah.
deals all back then. So what the hell happened to that one being one of the crown jewels?
Yeah, I don't know. But speaking of Todd Gilliland winning $1 million, I wish they'd just bring that back. Not this in-season challenge shit. Let's give.
Well, you got to find a sponsor. I mean, you look at what Xfinity did with their $100,000 challenges.
Dash for cash, yeah.
Yeah, you've got to find a sponsor that's willing to foot that bill, and nobody's done that since Winston.
You know, what's the IHRA guy up to? Is he still got money?
No. I haven't paid attention to the internet, but a lot of people have not been getting paid by him. So.
Yeah, I was kidding. Guy has no money left.
All right, so just do the fantasy league, get that over with.
Yeah.
Are we done talking about this race?
Yeah, I got nothing else for Andy.
Let's see, fantasy league this week. Our big winners this week, it was a tie for first between Austin Weinkauf and Chris Davis.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brien was in such is tradition. And then Brien also got a podium this week with third place. So
Yeah, just a couple points off. Can't complain.
Yeah.
Rob got another top 10, 8th, and I was way the fuck down in 21st because I didn't pay attention to anything this week.
She was choosing Rusty Wallace and Elliott Sadler and all these motherfuckers that aren't even out there. I had a great lineup. Christopher Bell, Corey Haim, Carson Hocevar, Tyler Reddick, of course, all performers. They did well for me. Then I had Chase Briscoe, another performer, and Bubba Wallace, who was okay, but he wasn't having a great day. But at stage 2, both of them were it was kind of a coin flip. So I let the Coors Light do the thinking, and I left Bubba Wallace in my lineup and left Chase Briscoe on the bench. And that cost me a podium. I think I would have beat you, Brien.
You would have been in the top 5 for sure. I don't know if you would have beat me, but yeah, top 5 for sure.
So yeah, thanks. I hope Bubba's pit crew is okay. He'll have you know I'm not. I had the biggest injury of the entire thing.
Yeah, I went back and watched that replay, and I guess Austin Hill had pushed Bubba's car into Bubba's pit crew. So
What's up?
It's more terrorism. I literally took Corey Haim out of my lineup 5 minutes before picks locked for God knows why.
I did the exact opposite thing because I was talking to some folks, and I was like, Corey Haim might actually win this fucker. And I was like, you know what? I'm running out of my good guys here, my reliable ones. So maybe I'll swap them in. I also took Ty Gibbs out of my lineup, which was frustrating. But yeah, Corey Haim, great job.
It's not a smart day all around. But yeah, overall standings, Chris Davis moves back into the lead, which bumps down Flavortown McLeod to second. Brian's still in third, Rob's still in sixth, and I have dropped down to 11th. So
tough day at the Brickyard.
Yeah. That's it.
Still a tight battle up front. I think there's only 40-something points between the top 4 of us, so it's going to come down to the wire. Well, we'll see what happens when they reset, but yeah, keeping up there. So I guess Dart of the Week is next because this is a funny story.
Yeah.
Rob?
I'll be honest, I don't actually have one this week. It's probably going to be Actually, I do have a Dart for the Week. It's everyone who was bitching about the bricks. Your punishment is to shut the fuck up. But last week's Dart for the Week, of course, his name is Robert Walker. It was on Facebook. We were talking about how Will Harrington and Cody Overton getting into it. And, of course, his comment, this could get you killed or worse, suspended. It ended up being the episode title. Lots of feedback on that one. People thought that was funny. And I'll be perfectly honest with you. In our Instagram inbox, sometimes messages from people we don't actively talk to or follow our account, they go straight into the, not necessarily junk folder, but we don't see it in our inbox. But I'll go check it like once a week just to see if I'm not missing out on anything. And I see this message from a guy, Robert Walker, and I didn't even put the two together. And I click on it, and he sent us a message that just said, "This could get you killed or worse, suspended."
How did he find us?
I don't know.
How? Was he already a listener?
I don't know.
I'm so confused.
And I responded, I just told him, you weren't exactly wrong either time. But shout out to Robert for being a good sport. He looks like he follows a lot of the same people I do, so he's probably a pretty cool guy to hang out with. And we appreciate you not being. We were pretty gentle and kind about that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was not a very harsh. We've had
been
other
pretty mean before. But yeah, shout out to Robert. Hopefully I get to have a beer with you sometime at the racetrack. Unlike all these other dumbasses who were crying about Indy all weekend and the bricks. I was thinking as Corey Haim is doing his burnout, I wonder if he knows there's bricks under the asphalt too. I hope he didn't damage those, but yeah. Yeah, shout out Robert. If you're listening, cheers, bud, and thanks for being such a good sport. And we'll see you down the road. Yeah, usually it's not a good thing when they track us down.
No, yeah, we've had some instances.
We've generally smoothed those over too, but yeah, this was an easy one. So yeah. All right, on to some news. I would say the big news from the last week is Alex Bowman announced his retirement at the end of 2027. This doesn't really come as a huge surprise, as it was kind of rumored for a little bit, especially after the whole Vertigo incident.
Past 3 years.
Yeah. He's obviously, his body's been through a lot the last few years, and He did an interview with Jeff Gluck about his decision, and he mentioned, yes, obviously the injuries have taken his toll, but he also talked about how he never ever planned on driving past like 35 full-time in the Cup Series.
Yeah.
So he's right about there now. He wants to start a family, and he doesn't want to be full-time in the sport when that happens, and he just wants to do other stuff. Like he wants to get more into drift car racing, so Truelove, you and Andy might be running into him a bit more in the future. And he also mentioned maybe getting back into sprint cars, which seems like a pretty poor idea based on his past.
No. Why?
But I won't be bummed if I get to see him at a sprint car race either. So
yeah, I mean, he's always got good people around him, and his midget team is good. I got an ABR hat. And he surrounds himself with some good guys. So Alex seems like a good one. I've never really interacted with him directly, but judging by the people that I know he has in his corner, I would assume that he's a pretty good dude. So glad to see him go out in his own terms. Hopefully he gets to have some good runs here up until the end, even if it's not going to be in the 48.
I've always felt like of all the drivers in the sport, he was the most relatable to personality-wise, just very self-deprecating and a good sense of humor about him, and just seemed very likable, seemed like a dude I'd get along with pretty well. And, he mentioned that, especially after the Vertigo thing, he wanted to, retire for a minute at the end of this season, but, Hendrick talked him into staying another year so he could, fill that gap between whoever comes next.
Close out the rest of the T-shirts sitting on the shelf.
and he does want to have, try to have a better last season. So hopefully that all works out for him, and he gets in victory lane at least one more time before it's all over with. This, of course, opens the discussion about who's going to take that ride. And for all intents and purposes, it seems like Connor Zilic is going to take it. Jordan Bianchi put out a report stating that he's most likely the one to get the ride, even though for the longest time, it seemed like it was going to be Corey Day's ride, but we know what's happening with Trackhouse right now, and Zilic is still a top prospect regardless of what he's been doing on the track this year. And
you can't exactly pin that on him.
Yeah,
even though he is still behind Kyle Busch in the points right now, which is that sucks. It's a bad year.
And while we're on the subject of Alex Bowman, might as well get this out of the way too. It was also announced this week that Jimmy Johnson is going to be running the 48. Obviously not the Hendrick car, but they've allowed him to run the 48 on his car for his final start, which is going to be the 2027 Daytona 500. A cool gesture, I would say, and it'd be
for
cool
Jimmy.
If he got. For Jimmy, yes, obviously. It'd be cool if he, somehow was able to talk Lowe's into coming back in the car for one more race. In saying that, too, we mentioned Alex Bowman. He is going to be able to choose his own number. There's already been rumors of what number he'd be in. Would it be the 25, the 46, whatever? They're going to let him pick his own number, and I believe he runs 55, which is my favorite number, so... if he gets to do that, I will be psyched. Because,
the 55 is the ABR number for sure. So
yeah.
So my question is, and maybe you could shine a light on this. Maybe you don't know. I don't know. Is this for the full season or just for the Daytona 500?
Just the race.
Okay. Gotcha.
I can't imagine he'll run the 55 or whatever he ends up running their whole season. I guess we'll see, but I have to imagine it's just for one race.
Yeah, I know there's some weirdness with like owners' points and all that shit, but NASCAR can do anything they want, so I would imagine that probably has something to do with it. Yeah. But I'd say Jimmy deserves it. Definitely a little awkward for Alex, but yeah, I'd be happy with the 55 coming out there.
Well, I forget who said it. I don't know if it was somebody on our group chat or not, but like it is the most fitting way for Alex to start his final season.
To lose his number?
To lose his number, yeah. Even getting in a Hendrick car was kind of a weird situation for him, but he earned that ride filling in for Dale Jr. And his identity has always just kind of been in other people's shadows, unfortunately, at Hendrick. So,
and here's another Marty Smith stat for you guys. He didn't say this, but he didn't say it, but this sounds like something he would say. I could try and do it in his voice, but I just can't do it. But guys, this is an unbelievable statistic that you're going to be blown away by. I think Alex Bowman is the first guy at Hendrick to run 3 different numbers.
Oh. Wow.
Because we were running the math. And,
Yeah, we were talking about that the other night.
couldn't figure it out.
That might be the case.
Because it'd be the 88, the 48, and now the whatever the fuck it is, whatever he chooses. So, yeah, cool little stat there for all you nerds.
Very, very Marty of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I see Alex, I'm gonna tell him about it.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll love that.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he'll never talk to me again. Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't read that Jeff Gluck interview, but as soon as it was announced, my first thought was he's going to go to Formula Drift. And then Alex made his social media post, and in the comments, one of Andy's friends that works for Formula Drift had made a comment like, all right, this opens you up for Formula Drift, and Alex liked it. So I was like, all right, that's where he's going, I bet.
You heard it here first, folks.
And their schedule's not crazy, so...
Yeah, but Zilich definitely seems to be the guy. I think there's a sponsorship thing that's kind of keeping it from being announced sooner, but we'll see. So we'll see.
Also, I had one more Jimmy Johnson note. This is random, but he got himself a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. He becomes the first person in motorsports and the 7th athlete to ever get one of those
Why?
random stars. I don't know.
One of his celebrity friends, one of his celebrity co-owners must have gotten that for him.
I'm sure.
They're probably on
It's
Mr.
right in between Darius Rucker and Guy Fieri's stars. So.
Exactly. Well, that's the legacy connection right there. Yeah, Jimmy will be running the Guy Fieri's Flavortown number 48 at the 2027 Daytona 500. It's going to be an abomination.
Other silly season news, Chandler Smith announced he is leaving Front Row Motorsports at the end of the season, and for all intents and purposes, it seems like he's going to be in one of the 2 RCR Busch cars next year. Not really surprised. This has kind of been rumored for a while.
Yeah.
I don't really care. I don't like him, so it doesn't really matter to me.
It does sound like Austin Hill is going to be the guy going forward anyway, so that does make sense. Gives Austin a chance to focus on his full-time Cup duties. And I don't like Chandler Smith, but he is fast, so not a bad choice.
Yeah, I think personality-wise, he fits in with the rest of the trash over there. So
maybe him and Jesse Love could do Bible study or something, and maybe get Jesse's mood up a little bit.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, they're not going to be teammates, so that's not going to happen.
Oh, that's right. Fuck. Forgot about that.
I have heard... I did see something today about Retzloff apparently might be in the other RCR car next year.
Wow, that's hell freezing over right there.
I don't know. Yeah, that's true, right? I don't know how true that is, but it's just something I saw today. So. Well,
that would be fucking awesome. I'm a big Parker Retzlaff fan, and it'd be cool to see him getting some equipment that matches his talent. No offense to the team he's with now, but to see him in a car that actually can roll off the trailer and win would be fucking awesome, and he deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Jesse Love, the Wood Brothers thing, is that official yet?
It was announced weeks ago, Rob. What the fuck are you talking about?
I didn't know. I don't remember if it was...
Where have you been? It was publicly announced multiple times. Like Jesse Love was on one of the podcasts talking. That's very much publicly confirmed.
I knew it was...
What the fuck are you talking about?
I know it was everywhere, but I just wasn't sure if it was actually like a real thing or not, because that news fell off the map about as quickly as it came out.
Good Lord. Let's see here. So, before we get into the other stuff, one other thing too, the Clash hasn't been officially announced yet, but again,
this is what I'm talking about.
Not that. Listen, the Jesse Love thing was absolutely 1,000% officially announced. But no, this was another Jordan Bianchi report, and pretty much once he actually reports on something, about 99 times out of 100, it's true. The Clash is supposed.
Yep.
Yeah. The Clash is returning to Daytona the night before the Super Bowl, apparently.
Good.
Next
That's great.
year. So. I think it's a good thing. I mean, hopefully they change the format back to where it is only pole winners and maybe, I don't know, playoff contenders or something to where it's not the entire fucking field. Probably won't be, but we'll see.
We might actually see a race because the Clash is typically way shorter. So, and that's if they're going to be running around at half throttle at the Clash, then we don't need to be doing that. But so hopefully they figure it out and make it a show where we see something. But I'm on board for this. I'm happy with it. I just hope that Bowman Gray sticks around and gets the all-star race position that it rightfully deserves.
That was talked about on Door Bumper Clear today, and it's probably not going to happen because it's going to have to be an SMI track. So it goes to me. I think it should go back to what I said last week. Take away this. If Charlotte can only have 2 dates, give the fall Charlotte race to one of the other tracks. Put the All-Star race back at Charlotte. That to me is where it should be. But I guess we'll see what happens. As long as it's not at fucking New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
my blood pressure just went up a good clip over here. I'm stressing. So fuck that shit, man.
Relax. One of the big topics last week, after Wilkesboro and even after this past weekend, was, are races too long? And a lot of media pundits were kind of jumping on board with this, and not enough of them were bringing the point up that Harvick brought up, and many of us have also brought up. It's not so much, maybe a couple races are too long lengthwise, but the problem is the stage breaks. This past weekend at Indy, granted, the 2 stage breaks, there was a caution with a couple laps to the end of the stage, so it extended the break, but those 2 breaks were over 20 minutes long, and
2 laps in 20 minutes.
Yeah, that is a huge, huge fucking problem as far as the actual length goes. When you're adding 30, 40, sometimes 60 minutes, especially on a road course with these, stage cautions, that is what's lengthening the amount of time. Don't shorten the races. Just get rid of those. And I saw something today, I guess, on Hauler Talk, Mike Ford was saying, we're going to change where we put the choose cone, so it's going to cut a lap off of the stage cautions.
Well, that'll do it.
Just fucking get rid of the stage cautions. Just you can keep the stages. I have no problem with the actual stages and the points and stuff. That's fine. Just get rid of the fucking breaks. And of course, TV is a major part of that because it's where they do their commercial breaks and all that. But don't shorten the length of the race. Well, don't do that.
I feel like that's a little bit of what Carson Hocevar was getting at today when he was talking about that Talladega broadcast he was watching. Is that the bottom line is what drives a lot of these decisions, and that's why we have stage breaks. It's for commercials. That's not even like a hidden tinfoil hat thing. It's stated that's why they do them, is for television. And but yeah, I agree. Of course, if you're going to ask Kyle Larson if the races are too long, he's going to say yes, because either A, he wrecks in stage 1, or B, he's a sprint car driver. So I'm sure he doesn't want to sweat in there for 5 hours, but I also imagine that none of these guys like riding around for half an hour twice a race, and I know I don't like it. So let's move that fucking choose cone though. That's a good idea.
Did you have something to add, Truelove?
No, my notes literally say for this bulletin point, our race is too long. No.
I 100% agree. Yeah.
Well, my big thing with it has always been, as a fan that goes to a lot of races in person, I want a long race. If I'm going to take time and money to physically go to these races, I want a big ass honking chunk of a race. Yeah. So.
We already have practice cut down to an hour. Qualifying is not what it used to be. They're already limiting the amount of track time that exists to begin with, and now we're talking about either shortening races or we get to see a race with long breaks to fit the television audience. I'm with you 100%. The answer is no, they're not too long.
I did see a funny tweet from Moonhead, though, that was I forget the exact phrasing, but he said something to the effect of, the same people saying races aren't too long are the type of people that like to watch videos of trains. And, that's me.
Have you been to a NASCAR race?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, stop NASCAR. Pull your head out of your ass. Let's see. Final things. shout out to Jimmy Means. He had a heart attack last week and went in for double bypass yesterday, and the surgery was successful. So that was good to hear. Hopefully he recovers. Unfortunately, in not so good news, Rick Houston, we mentioned last week that he announced he has cancer. A few days after that announcement, he announced that it's already stage 4, and he does not have the greatest prognosis, but I did see he just started chemo, so hopefully, he can get that sorted out because, again, he still has some work to do in preserving the history of the sport, so we hope he gets better. Hope both of them get better, for sure.
Absolutely.
There was a fun little Denny Hamlin Barstool Sunday conversation video that came out this past weekend. It's only 5 minutes, so it's well worth your time watching. I don't watch this show regularly. I've seen a couple clips of different people, but I think Denny was the first NASCAR driver to do it, and it was very funny. Denny said on his show that the funniest stuff had to get cut out for whatever reasons. I'm sure it was too hot for the internet, but they had one guy's just sitting in the corner eating ham the whole time, and Denny's
dressed like a ham.
Yeah, dressed like a ham, and then the Caleb interviewer guys asked. Go ahead.
I was going to say his name is Glenny Balls, so
yes.
Great name.
Okay. The kid Caleb asked Denny if he plugs all of his holes in the car or something to that effect. I don't know. It was just a fun little 5-minute thing.
Yeah, this is the only Barstool content I ever consume is these little Sunday conversation snippets. And I thought it was funny that Hamlin's been the first NASCAR driver on this show, and this host, Caleb Presley, didn't know anything about NASCAR, but he's literally Robert Presley's nephew. So
what?
Is that
I didn't
true?
know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, he's from Asheville. Robert's from Asheville. Robert's his uncle, and Coleman is his cousin. So
no shit.
And
That's wild.
his dad raced cars too. So you'd think he'd know more, but
well, Barstool's not. I know they tried to get into NASCAR for a second, but
they still got a show.
Really
Rubbin' is Racing still out there, but I don't listen.
Oh well,
to
yeah,
it.
busted. I don't know. I don't watch any of that shit. So
was it busting on the what the fuck's it called? The NASCAR one?
the
Racing
with the boys. Yeah. Truelove, did you listen to the Chase Elliott episode?
I did listen to that one. I've been waiting for the Busher and Priest episode to come out, but they haven't released it yet.
I think that's maybe this week, because Jimmy Johnson was last week. I didn't listen to it, but
Yeah, I didn't see that.
yeah, maybe this week. New IndyCar just dropped. What the fuck does this mean?
Yeah, the next iteration of the spec car they use in IndyCar. The first renderings were released today, and boy, these wings are fucking huge. It's got like an F2 rear wing. It's kind of round. It looks a little strange. And a big-ass 90s style, huge front wing. It looks pretty cool. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people bitching about it, kind of questioning the size of the wings. Apparently, the hybrid is now 20 pounds lighter, which is a big source of grief with a lot of the racing we've seen. It just makes the cars too heavy. It's also why Takuma Sato and Kyle Larson were so crash happy at Indy the year prior. That hybrid added a lot of weight to the rear end, and if you weren't used to it, it would catch you. So I know a lot of people are happy about that. Apparently the cars will be faster as well, and yeah, it's about time, I guess. We've been using a version of the DW12 or the IR12 is what it's, I forget what it's called now, but essentially the same car for almost 2 decades now, and or at least 15 years. And it's cool to see them roll something different out. The only thing I'm really kind of bummed about is that it looks like they've how to say this? They've increased the amount of spec parts on the car, which is kind of a bummer. It's also a reason why sometimes the racing is unpredictable in Indy cars, because everyone's kind of got the same shit. And I think that Roger and the boys are trying to keep that going, which is ironic because Roger Penske owns Penske, and they're the guys who have the money to tweak the few things that they can work on. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but it looks pretty cool. and you can check it out on the internet. You can just Google new IndyCar. It'll pop right up and tell me what you think about that Formula 2 wing they got on the back. Like I said, not much of a fan of that, but I don't know. They're not going to ask my opinion on anything. So
They heard what you said about their brakes. They're not going to ask you.
Yeah, I'm not getting free tickets next year. But yeah, before we move into the septic tank here, I know Truelove, she's kind of alluded to it and talked about it a little bit already, but you were in Nashville over the weekend celebrating a big birthday, had a good time, eating bologna sandwiches, and looks like we have some NASCAR-related notes from your travels.
Yeah, just some quick little tidbits that were NASCAR-related from my trip. I just wanted to say that I did all my NASCAR consumer duties on the road trip up there. We stopped in a Hardee's for lunch so I could get my Bubba Wallace die-cast. Mm-hmm. And then we stopped at a Circle K so I could get my SVG and Zillage Red Bull can. So got all my collectibles.
You got your Austin Hill zones. Stopped in and got some Carson Hocevar Spectrum Internet.
Definitely not. The hotel that we stayed at was like right next door to this. It was right next to Broadway, across the street from the Ryman. But there was also this big like food hall there that was very convenient, but also like a touristy hell. And some of the band wives wanted to spend a little bit too much time there. So I had a couple beers there and some meals, but I did see a bunch of advertisement all over that food hall for like a weekly NASCAR-sponsored watch party that they do. So if you're ever in the Nashville area on a Sunday and you want to watch a NASCAR race in a food hall, they got you covered.
Nice.
Yeah. Also, this is not NASCAR related, but it is soap related. I also popped into the Snooki shop.
Wow! Yes.
It was very tiny. Just had a bunch of bullshit clothes in it.
What'd you get?
That I would never wear. I got a little keychain that had the note on it.
Yeah.
And then, right as we were getting ready to leave, about 10 women with Miller Lights in their hand walked in, so
Nice.
we left.
I think the note is the Footprints poem to our generation, as Footprints was to our parents. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess all weekend long, the Blackberry Smoke had some deal set up with Chiefs, so they were having like fan parties there, and then they had a after party there on Friday for like the band and crew. So went down to the Chiefs, and you know they're a Corey Haim sponsor, so that's probably why I won. But I did eat some delicious mac and cheese there.
Nice.
And since it was a Friday night walking down Broadway, I will say that I just spent that whole walk dodging piles of puke. I watched a girl throw up in the bushes. I reeked of vomit that whole street. So
Yeah.
And one last thing, my wonderful boyfriend Andy got me nothing but Kasey Kahne themed birthday presents, and one of which was the Holy Grail Kasey Kahne Crock Pot.
You got it.
Oh,
God
shit.
bless that man.
Round of applause.
Yep. It's in beautiful condition too. So please send me all your favorite crock pot recipes for what I should cook in the Kasey Kahne Crock Pot.
I will
It'll be
say
a new weekly segment.
Amazing. Yes.
the Travis Quappel crock pot made it to the internet this weekend, of course, and many people are going to be making celebratory quap pot meals with that, so that's cool.
Yeah, I love that. Is Andy going to be at the Webster, Mass show that Blackberry Smoke has at Indian Ranch? Do you know?
What date is that?
Sometime in August.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll be there whenever it is.
I'll go say hi to him.
Unless he blows his back out again.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear he's feeling better. That's good.
So, yeah. Also, one more, I don't think I put it in the notes, but Kasey Kahne related. I believe Brien sent this. It was in the NASCAR ship posting group. There's a lady named Desiree Seek, and I'm just going to read the whole thing because it's a lot. But this lady named Desiree said, "Folks, I really hate to say this, as it makes me sad because I love this fan base, and I'm sorry that I have to, but it needs to be said. The Kasey Kahne that you're seeing on here, and the same one that was at Williams Grove, is in fact an imposter from the Originals PR agency in North Carolina, pretending to be him. As for the original Kasey Kahne, he is alive and well in Washington State and has been enjoying his retirement since 2018. I've been seeing him shop at Federal Way Costco during my work days, by the way. You can hate me if you want to, everyone, but I'm not going to believe this PR agency delusion any longer. Please give my regards and good luck wishes to PR model Kasey Kahne and Dason Pursley this weekend.
Well, I think we've all met Kasey Kahne in the last couple of years, and it's definitely him.
It does explain why he finally won a sprint car race. Oh, that's amazing. That is peak internet right there. And unless you got anything else, that is such a perfect segue into the septic tank this week.
Yep.
And it's a pretty busy one. Of course, the Prairie Dirt Classic was at Fairbury American Legion Speedway, one of the greatest racetracks in all of the United States. To set the stage for you, of course, this is a big super late model event. That's my favorite shit in the world. And speaking of the Snooki shop, the dirt racing version of that was on the property. The Smut Wagon was set up at Falls. Oh. And if you don't know what the Smut Wagon is, it's a trailer that goes around and sells erotic books, racetracks, and other events. So,
wow, I've never seen that at a racetrack.
They sponsor cars. Yeah, we're not going to the right tracks, apparently. But they were at Fairbury. So you can follow them on Facebook and go check them out. Also, somebody who needs to go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, Kyle Armstrong did send me a picture from Fairbury of a T-shirt that the drummer for Blackberry Smoke designed that they were selling at the racetrack.
Yes.
That's his hometown.
Yes. And Fairbury is what a cool event, or any time they race there all year round, but like what a cool town this is. It's not dissimilar to Knoxville in the way that it's just a small town, kind of in the middle of nowhere, that just has a racetrack dropped right in the center of it. And anytime there's a big event like the Prairie Dirt Classic, the whole town embraces it, and it's just it expands to however many thousands of people come in for this event, and the town just completely embraces it. And this place is very close to the top of my to-do list, especially after all the stories I hear from this place. And you see it on TV; it is just packed to the fucking gills. And it's great, especially hearing about places like Nashville, who are actively trying to rid themselves of one of the oldest asphalt tracks in the country. To see the exact opposite warms my heart. So I got to get to Fairbury at some point. But it does get hot there. There's no question about that. And somebody really needs to buy Kyle Bronson some sunscreen. There was a photo of him posted on the internet over the weekend of him not wearing a hat. And you kind of see why. He's a bald dude. He's not a hair haver, and this guy has the most fierce hat tan I think I've ever seen on a bald head. So
this is Andy Newsom levels for sure.
It absolutely is. But the best part about Fairbury is the racing, and we got incredible shows pretty much all week. They kicked off on I think it was Wednesday night with the Flow Racing Night in America show there. The feature was a lot of fun. Josh Rice and Tyler Erb got into it a little bit. I couldn't tell if Josh was really at fault for this, but he took the blame for this accident. It looked like Erb kind of drifted up as Rice had a huge run off the top. Seemed kind of like a racing deal to me, but and they had a little bit of fun on Twitter about that. But I don't know. I like both of those guys, so I have no opinion in the matter. But Josh Rice did continue on, but it wasn't enough to stop Hudson O'Neill in the Rumley 6 from picking up the win that night. Josh Rice, Shannon Babb, Jason Fager, and Brandon Shepard rounded out your top 5. Carson Hocevar was there on the property. He actually did make an A-main for once, so good for him. That's been tough sledding in a late model every time he goes out there. So it was cool to see him actually make the show. On Friday night, it was sort of a qualifying semi-feature kind of night, setting it up. Jason Fager, Sam Seawright, Brandon Shepard, and Trey Mills picking up wins. The big surprise is here being a big surprise being Sam Seawright. I don't think anybody thought that he would have the speed that he did. He's not a Cobb by any stretch of the imagination, but for him to pick up any sort of win at Fairbury is a big deal. speaking of Carson Hocevar and the Spire 77, they did stick around even though Carson was off at Indianapolis, and they enlisted Devin Moran as their driver for the weekend, which was kind of crazy. You don't see that very often, but Devin Moran and the Double Down guys decided to moonlight with that team. Kind of a mutually beneficial arrangement here, a one-off for sure. This gave their cars a weekend off. Fairbury's a pretty aggressive, elbows up kind of racetrack, and you can really fuck a car up there, and they're in the throes of the Lucas Championship chase right now, so it's probably good to give their car a weekend off. Also, the Spire car, not running a lot well, not just the driver's fault. They're still figuring out how to get this brand new Longhorn dialed in, and what better way to do that than bring in a very competitive group of guys and a hot shoe to drive the car. And on the flip side, those guys get to get their hands on a brand new Longhorn chassis and kind of learn what the new stuff has to offer and transfer that over to their car. So pretty good. Moran did make the A main. I think he finished in the 20s. Not the best day, but PDC is a tough show to make. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. But definitely cool to see the Chili's car out there again. And that really kind of shows how serious they are about making that work, because it's good. It's good to see Spire out there. It was a great weekend for Spire, actually. I mean, not so much in Indy, even though Carson did get a top 10. And Devin Moran did make the A main. Also, Gio Selzy picking up a win in their car, but we'll get to that later. So decent weekend for the Spire boys. On to the A main. Trey Mills was your pole sitter. I was excited to see that. Of course, we've talked about it every time Trey Mills gets mentioned on here. That is a boy-shaped man with a deep voice. And his nickname's The Future, and there's no doubt about that. He led the opening 64 laps until a caution with RTJ dropping out of the race set up Brandon Shepherd an opportunity to get around him, which he did, and he picked up a win at the PDC. Place went absolutely fucking nuts. Speaking of Kyle Armstrong, he sent me a video. He was sitting right behind Brandon Shepherd's family, and they were going ape shit up in the stands.
There was also a guy that had a sign that said, "Be Shep till I die," which I thought was very funny.
Yeah, he's popular around there.
Now, Rob, I'm assuming you watched this the next day, because I know both of us fell asleep.
Yeah, I did. I got home. Saturday was a long day, man. I came straight from Claremont to a show. I got up at 7 or 8 in the morning. I forget what it was. Drove 4 hours to a show. Was at the show for a good 5 or 6 hours. Then went to the end of a family barbecue. Got home just in time for the PDC A main, and I was so stoked about this. Parked my ass on the couch, and I saw Trey Mills rip off into turn 1, and I woke up with the screen of death on my TV. So, yeah, that was a Sunday afternoon affair for me. But yeah, very cool to see Brandon Shepherd pick up a win, and what's essentially a home track for him. And yeah, lots of people were stoked about that. Hudson O'Neill came from 18th to finish 2nd. Anytime he's in the Rumley car, you know you're going to see a show. They're about the best in the biz when they team up. Bobby Pierce, Nick Hoffman, and Tim McCready rounding out your top 5. How about that, T-Mac? He had a little bit of trouble this weekend, and he was able to get up to 5th, so good for him.
Yeah, he was the hard charger. He came from 22nd or 23rd.
Yeah, he's a dog, and that's a tough racetrack to do anything on. But yeah, Fairbury's awesome. If there's a reason to get a Dirt Vision subscription that isn't the Knoxville Nationals, it's the PDC. I highly recommend it. And like I said, I got to get there at some point, because that's must see and must attend television right there. High Limit was up here in the Northeast. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it out to any of these, but they're in Pennsylvania and New York over the weekend. Corey Day picked up a win at Lernerville. Tyler Courtney returned to Victory Lane at State Line in New York. First win he's gotten in the 7BC since his injury last year at Eldora. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure that's the truth. So that was cool. I know Tyler hasn't been quite the same as he was before the accident, and it was cool to see him kind of return to be able to stand on his top wing. I liked seeing that. Port Royal, the Bob Weichert Memorial, that was Friday and Saturday. Brent Marks picked up a prelim win night on Friday. And Gio Selzy, driving the Spire 77, picked up a win there. It was a bit of a controversial race for reasons that, I don't know if controversial is the right word, but it's a 40-lap feature, and there's a mandatory fuel stop right at lap 20, right at the middle of the race. It just kind of fucks the flow up of a race like this. I know why they do it, and I guess I'd rather see this than see what we saw at the King's Royal last week. But it does feel a little bit silly to stop a race after 20 laps so these guys can go grind their tires and add fuel and all that. But it is what it is. It's cool to see the Spire Boys get a win. I'm not a Gio Scelzi fan by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a bad motherfucker, and he showed it to everybody on Flow Racing on Saturday night. Also, shout out Chase Dietz. He put on a show battling for the win, and I think a lot of people, posse folks in attendance, were pulling for him. In fact, during the dice roll, they always do this thing where a fan will roll these big fuzzy dice, and whoever they roll for, if that person wins, they split 10 grand with them, or 5 grand, however much it is. And I forget who she pulled, but Tony Laporta was just like, yeah, you got to be pulling for so and so tonight, aren't you? She's like, no, I'm still pulling for Chase Dietz. So that just shows you how dedicated the PA fans are. But yeah, good for Gio. World of Outlaws were up in Canada. David Gravel picked up a win. They had a rain out one of those nights. Again, Ryan Newman was racing up there too. His first start in a 410. I don't know where he finished though. So you can Google that one. Sorry, folks. They moved on to Weed Sport, where Sheldon Hodenshill picked up a win on Friday night, and David Gravel won the big show on Saturday night. He's doing some Justin Allgaier shit with the points right now. That's pretty much foregone conclusion who your World of Outlaws champion is going to be, unless something crazy happens. So I guess we'll see. We'll probably be watching him hoist the trophy over his head for the championship at the World Finals this year. But I'll be in the parking lot by the time that happens, so I don't have to see it. Up in my neck of the woods, NASCAR Willet Modified Tour was at Monadnock. Patrick Emmerling picked up his 3rd win in a row, and DJ Shaw picked up a Granite State Pro Stocks feature win. Now it's his 2nd in a row there. I didn't have a chance to watch this one, but again, I love Monadnock. It's a great little racetrack, and it's sad to miss out on this one. Really was. Quick note, kind of sad news here. Case Higgins, he's a 12-year-old boy. He was severely burned in a sprint car crash at I-44 Speedway over the weekend. He's in critical condition right now, and I can't imagine what his family's going through. But I know the Oklahoma sprint car community is a very tight-knit one, and I'm sure they'll rally around him, as will everyone else in the country. I'm going to post the GoFundMe in our show notes here, and if you got any scratch to give to this kid, please do. He's got a hell of a fight ahead of him, but if you're racing sprint cars at 12 years old, you're probably a tough motherfucker, so hopefully he's able to pull through. And if you can't give money, thoughts, prayers, all that stuff, but again, money talks, so if you have it, please donate to their GoFundMe, because they're certainly going to need all the help they can get going forward here. There's a fuck ton of racing this weekend, but a lot of big series kind of have the weekend off. Lucas is out, High Limit's out, but there's good reason for that. World of Outlaws are going to be at BAPS in the Grove, so we should see, probably should see a few High Limit folks over there, I would assume, unless I'm missing something here. World of Outlaw late models are at Cedar Lake for the USA Nationals, so you're going to see a bunch of motherfuckers up there for that one. And Indiana Sprint Week continues out in Indiana. Obviously, they're going to be at Paragon, Terre Haute, Bloomington, and Tri-State coming up. I got one of those races on right now as we speak. So by the time they're at Circle City as we're recording this. So by the end of the show, we'll know who picked up a win there. And of course, there's 1,000 other races happening this weekend. Make sure you get out to one of them. We're running out of time here, folks. It's almost August. September's kind of the end of it. Getting to big event season and all of it. Before you know it, you're just going to be pissed off. You got nothing to watch. So you better get out there while you can. And the weather's been absolutely great, so there's no excuses.
And there's no NASCAR this weekend.
And there is no NASCAR this weekend. So yeah, go support your local short track, and there's a ton of it happening. Just Google racetrack on your phone and ignore the gas stations, and you'll find something to do. And with that, we're going to go ahead and flush this thing down and get into our video of the week segment. We're going to see what fucking Fish Clown or whatever his name is.
Before we get to him, I get to have my little autism moment where I get to talk about monster trucks for 20 minutes straight.
That's right. Brian's version of trains.
Yes, yes, very much.
Flush first so it doesn't stink in here.
Thank you for the reminder, Truelove. Typical guy over here not flushing the toilet, right?
Can have a repeat of the other week.
No, that was awful.
All right, well, video of the week this week, the first of two, is the TNT Monster Truck Challenge from Dallas, Texas. I forget the name of the stadium, but it's the stadium where they play, the Cowboys used to play, whatever football stadium there is there. Mm-hmm. Texas Stadium, there you go. So this was right in the middle of the 1990 season, which was the last year for the TNT series. But this was probably the best year and also most controversial because this is the first weekend. Now they say, in the broadcast, like, he won last week. Well, they tape 2 or 3 races in one weekend, and they just air them week by week. So, but yeah, this was the first race weekend where Bigfoot 8 was banned from competition. Again, from the last show, or last history of monster truck racing we did, Bigfoot 8 was this technological masterpiece of a monster truck, first ever tube chassis, nitrogen suspension, lightest weight truck at the time, just head and shoulders above any other monster truck, at least in the TNT series. There were a couple other trucks running USHRA that were in the same vein, but still, Bigfoot was at the time, the most technologically advanced truck there was. Because it was so advanced, they banned it from competition. This only lasted about a month and a half or so, but we'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, Bigfoot 4 was back on the track for this race. And also, this was the first ever 3-lane monster truck drag race. They did this event a handful of times, after TNT. They still came back with USHRA and still ran it in this 3-lane configuration. Never been done before. Very exciting to see as a child, and put on some great racing here. We had the normal group of announcers, Army Armstrong on the track, Scott Douglas doing the announcing, and Chris Chapman in the pits. And even though Andy Brass was there at the track, John Pyant was driving Bigfoot that weekend. John Pyant was a fun little fact from my other world of BMX. He was a pro BMX racer in the 1980s who turned into monster truck racing. Start the show off with an interview with last week's winner, Doug Spanier, in the Master of Disaster truck.
This guy.
What's that?
This whole interview just made me laugh.
Oh, yeah. Doug, the Master of Disaster was from Minnesota, and he kind of ran wherever. He didn't really follow one series. You saw him in TNT a little bit when they ran up in that part of the country throughout the years, and he also ran USHRA. Master Disaster was a very cool-looking truck, very short wheelbase, and had Molly Hatchet-inspired graphics.
Hell yeah.
Very cool.
And just a beautiful truck. He managed to pull off the win the first race of the weekend there. He talks about not running TNT and beating, Outlaw and King Crunch. He almost flipped the truck in one of his runs the week before, but managed to pull it off. We get an update on the Bigfoot story. Basically, TNT decided that once the other trucks, because at the time, again, monster truck racing was evolving so much in this time period, and, all the competitors could see the writing on the wall once Bigfoot came out, and, even prior to that, they were all trying to still advance their trucks, and these sort of, tube chassis trucks would become the norm within the next 2-3 years, but at the time, still nobody in that series they were all working on trucks, and TNT said once those other trucks are built and join the series, Bigfoot can come back. Well, long story short, nobody got their trucks done, and they just let Bigfoot back anyways. They also set a new rule that engines had to be limited to 500 cubic inches, which wasn't really a problem. There was only a couple trucks running motors bigger than that. Gravedigger had a massive motor, but he ended up taking it out before this rule even came to fruition because he kept blowing transmissions, and once he put a smaller engine in, he started performing better. And they had some very non-committal rules about the suspensions, but they hadn't figured any of that out. We see a couple qualifying rounds, and this first one was crazy. We see Master Disaster, Clydesdale, and Wild Hare. Clydesdale ends up winning, which is kind of a surprise, but Wild Hare in the left-hand lane, got loose coming off the cars, hits Clydesdale and rolls the truck. Bennett's fine. He had no idea what was going on. He just kind of saw wild hair at the last possible second. He said he tried to get in the throttle to get away from him, but where would he have gone? The wall was right fucking there, so I don't know what he was trying to do with that explanation.
They had a Fox level camera angle replay of it.
Oh, yeah. The cameras were in some wacky spots for this race. They talk about redoing the launch ramps for the show, which in theory was supposed to launch the trucks higher. If you look at the layout of the track, there's not a whole lot of time to stop after the last set of cars. So in theory, launching the trucks on the last set of cars will slow them down a bit. But, we saw a couple crazy wrecks and near wrecks, so it didn't really do a whole lot to fix the racing, per se. Sorry, my cat just turned my phone off.
Smart little guy.
Yeah. We get an interview with Marvin Smith, the driver of Wild Hair, who was distraught, and he talks about how he couldn't slow the truck down and just got loose landing. The next qualifying run, we see Bigfoot, USA 1, and Tough Enough. USA 1 wins, but crashes into the wall. Apparently hit the 45-second clock for the Cowboys. And in the shots of the truck, you can see how beat up that thing was. USA 1, especially with Steve Wilkie driving it, flipped, God, I don't even know how many times. It seemed like 10 times in about a year and a half. The truck was just super fast, but super unstable, and just wrecked a ton. Steve Wilkie gets interviewed, and he gives a smart-ass response when asked what happened. He goes, "It's quick. I was going fast." And then he immediately apologizes. But he still talks shit on Bigfoot after winning the race and tells him all Bigfoot saw was my tailgate. And he was able to continue throughout the night. And there's a replay of him just a few weeks prior in Roanoke, Virginia, flipping the truck over as another example of him just really getting in over his head with that truck. We get a John Pine interview. Apparently, Bigfoot sustained some suspension and brake damage in his run, but he said, we'll fix it and we'll be fine. We get round 1 action. Barbarian, Tough Enough, and Bigfoot. It was an easy Bigfoot win, but he said, John Pine afterwards said they fucked the truck up even more. They were having issues with the steering and traction bars, and then he said the transmission was screwed and they might be out for the rest of the night. We see Clydesdale return to the track. He's missing a door and some other, the roof and a couple other sheet metal pieces. This is just 2 trucks, Clydesdale and Master Disaster, and Clydesdale ends up winning, which was a surprise. Next up, we get the Outlaw, Micro Machines, and Equalizer. Micro Machines was a truck that was built by the Brien brothers, who had also built Mad Dog and the other Wild Hair truck. Micro Machines at this time, they came out with a couple different lines of Tough Tracks toys. There was a Micro Machines, obviously sets of those and even pulling trucks. And then they also did the Tough Tracks Monster Truck series, which, of course, I had all of those growing up.
Of course.
This was a photo finish. Equalizer barely beats Micro Machines. And then we see Greg Holbrook, who me and Ashley witnessed a few years ago. He was only 18 at the time, and he is one of the most awkward interviews of all time in monster trucks, just completely monotone, zero expression on his face. But he says he got him by a wheel. Yeah, very incredibly deep Southern accent.
Yeah.
Just a weirdo, but he was very good. And also Equalizer was, at the time, aside from Bigfoot, the most technologically advanced truck on the circuit, as it was 1989 champion. Next round, we see King Crunch, Equalizer, and Clydesdale. Equalizer wins this one a little bit easier than the last round. At this point, we see Bigfoot being pushed off the cars back to the start line. At this point, he had no reverse, so he only had forward gears. As John said, the transmission was fucked up. And yeah, Bigfoot was nowhere to be found in this race. It was Bigfoot, Carolina Crusher, and Nightlife. And Nightlife actually snuck the win. Nightlife, driven by Dave Wyzorek, who kind of hit on Ashley as well.
Nice.
My monster truck boyfriend.
Well, that's what happens when I let you borrow my vintage Nightlife shirt.
Yeah, that shirt was great, so understandable.
And the finals, we get Master Disaster, Equalizer, and Nightlife. Equalizer wins it pretty easily, although he does have a rough landing on the last set of cars. He took the points lead, which they mentioned earlier in the show. Bigfoot needed to make the finals to keep the lead, but he did not. This was Greg's first ever win in the series because he had just taken over the ride a few races prior from David Morris. And he gave a not incredibly excited winning interview afterwards. So,
what was up with that paint scheme on that truck?
Equalizer?
White liquid splattered all over it.
I forget. There's definitely an explanation. Prior,
I'm sure there is.
It had a red paint scheme. It's kind of later on in the series, or later on when Monster Wars became a thing. They gave him like a fucking gunslinger type. Like a space gunslinger mascot. I think it was something to do with cowboy. I don't fucking know, man. I couldn't tell you why they painted the truck that way, but it looked kind of cool, so whatever. But yeah, I figured this would be a good one to show. I mean, I'm going to show a few other 1990 races because this was one of the best years for racing as far as I'm concerned, but I figured this would be a good one to show as it continued the Bigfoot 8 storyline from the last episode, and overall was just kind of a chaotic race. So what did you guys think?
My favorite part about this video is obviously the driver interviews, because every single driver in this video had an incredible mullet. There wasn't one bad mullet.
Yeah.
Everyone had one. A lot of great
I was actually going to
too,
mention the facial hair and mullets as well. That was my note.
Yeah, I don't really recall seeing much 3-lane racing either with monster trucks, so that was cool to see. And I think my only other note was the whole Bigfoot 8 story was interesting because I didn't know much about that either. But also to like ban him for however long until the other competitors could catch up, that just sounds like a competitor problem, not a Bigfoot problem. But
yeah, I mean, a lot of guys. Scott Stevens from King Crunch was like the #1 complainer about Bigfoot throughout the entire run of this whole fucking series. But you know, Bigfoot had the money behind it, had the Ford sponsorship, had McDonald's, had Acclaim, had all these sponsors and the technological advancement. And again, this was not a regulated series like other forms of motorsports. And you know, the monster trucks themselves in this 2-3 year period, the racing really evolved and the technology evolved so much. Bigfoot was just miles ahead of everybody as far as their truck design. And you know, on one hand, I can understand because, you know, they had so much money and were able to make these advances, why they would ban him. But, you know, at the same time, Bigfoot was also like, him and Gravedigger were the 2 most popular trucks in the series. And, you know, it's not a good business decision to ban your most popular truck. So that's why it came back so quickly.
That was actually a question I had for you. If this was the first major instance of the sanctioning body doing something like this, because we hear about it in NASCAR. There's always like balance of power shit that was done. You know, one manufacturer gets too strong, things change. It's the same in sports car racing. You know, I don't remember there being an instance of this prior. At least, maybe, I mean, obviously, I forgot that fucking Jesse Love was going to Wood Brothers, so it's possible that I'm wrong about that. But thank you for answering that. But man, I just got to say, the only real feedback I have other than that question I was going to ask was, this is what it's supposed to look like as far as I'm concerned. This is what's ingrained in my child brain, and it's why I can't get into a lot of monster truck stuff now, because this is just much cooler.
It's you know, the stunts and stuff that drivers can do now. It's insane,
incredible.
But it's also Monster Jam is at this point marketed almost exclusively to kids,
Yeah.
whereas in this period of monster trucks, I mean, obviously they appealed to children. Like, you can't deny that, but
Yeah.
it was still, they tried to make it a legitimate motorsport for as long as they could until they realized it just wasn't going to get over that way. And then, you know, we will eventually get to Monster Wars, which is when it really started getting wacky, but, you know, this is when it was still legit.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Not legit, though, is a guy named Fish Clown.
Illegitimate.
Again, this video just, I opened YouTube one day and it popped up in my feed, and it just looked like one of those insane people that I had to see what was up with this guy. So I'm glad I picked it, but it's just an old psychopath in a room full of die casts, and he wanted to show off a couple of his new additions to his collection, and he has this weird 2002 car that, like, it has, you know, the DEI numbers and some of the sponsors on it and stuff, and I don't know much about this series. I don't know why it exists, but he shows off he has a couple from like 2000 and 2001, and he starts talking about the car, and he says the car's out of the Childress stable, which is a DI logo on the hood, you fucking moron. And then he starts trying to read off, like, there's a phone number on the back, and he goes like 1-800-DIE, and he just can't read.
Yeah. The number is 1877 DEI zone. Just to be clear.
As we continue to look around his room, not only is this room full of die casts, but he's got his weightlifting equipment in the center of it as well. So this is just his little man cave, I guess.
Smack dab in the middle of this tiny ass room full of shit.
The next die cast was some Earnhardt Oreo test car, and he rattles off some bullshit about Dale Jr. driving it or something. Then he starts talking about how this was filmed the night of the Wilkesboro race, and he cannot pronounce Wilkesboro. He just can't do it. He tries multiple times, cannot do it. And he's confused as to why. Okay.
Yeah, I think he settled on Wilkesboro.
Yeah. Close enough.
Yeah.
He's also confused as to why NASCAR is running these night races, which, you know, I guess that's fair because a lot of people were, but whatever.
It's the only thing I related.
We look around the room some more, and of course he's got a bunch of Trump stuff on the wall, and including cutouts of both Trump and Melania. And then he shows off all his different Air Force One models for whatever fucking reason.
Those are pretty cool. That's my level of autism, is plane models, so I enjoyed that.
He mentions this is his 398th video. No, we're not going to be going through his back catalog. Once is enough with this guy.
I gotta say, the display at the top of the room with the banking, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I suppose, you know, in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
I must have missed that amongst all the chaos.
He does have the new Air Force One. I just noticed that. I gotta play it in the background here.
Yeah, I saw. We kind of scrolled through his channel, and he has some videos dedicated specifically to the plane model. So you'll have to watch those, Rob.
There you go, Rob.
Yeah, those are fucking expensive, folks. That's why I don't have any.
I did subscribe to his channel, so it's on our feed.
Fish Clown.
And he shows you off the cases where these new cars are going to go. He mentions he's a William Byron fan, which
we got one.
A little surprising, I guess, but hey, sure. He talks about being frustrated with his camera. He can't, like, turn the angle around or something. And then he begs for 50 likes on this video. So
begged. You know how many likes this video had? 2.
I was going to say under 5 for sure.
Well, we'll give him 1.
Well, it had 1 like when I started the video, and by the end it had 2, and it wasn't from me, so.
maybe I accidentally liked it. But yeah, that was Fish Clown. You know, haven't had just a weird, chaotic NASCAR fan video in a second, so I thought this was a nice little 5-minute glimpse into a nutcase's world. So
you know, this is exactly what I expected it to be.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
like there were no surprises. It was as advertised.
Yeah, I would really like to know what Fish Clown NASCAR people are. I mean, the name of his channel is literally "What's Up, Fish Clown NASCAR People" in all caps. He really likes all caps, I noticed.
Mm-hmm. I'm
and
assuming it's probably his
tagline.
It's probably his 112 followers. I'm assuming. I don't know who they could be. I'm sure the origin is in one of his 400 videos, but I'm not gonna go find it. So
that's some lore we're not gonna do. It's probably his like banking password or something like that.
Yeah. There's also a punching bag on the wall right next to Jeff Gordon, his Jeff Gordon cardboard stand-up. And I also noticed some random moose statues sprinkled around the room. So
yeah.
Those are my notes.
Yeah, cool guy. And he didn't get 50 likes, but he does have 59 views. And I think I just gave him his 60th view by watching that as we were doing this. So,
it's good enough.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, so with no NASCAR this coming week, we're gonna go long.
Nope,
but
stop
I'm gonna.
it. If you didn't need, that was Fish Clown. Sorry, folks.
Okay. So we're gonna go long, but I'm gonna let you guys choose how long we go. And again, with no racing this weekend, we have a little extra time, and we've watched enough bullshit, weird, goofy videos and movies and stuff. I want to watch an actual race, and we're gonna choose. You get to choose two different choices. We're gonna watch the one Eldora Late Model Dream, the prelude to the Dream, rather. I've wanted to watch one of these for a while. We watched a couple little like fan cam videos and stuff, but we've never watched an actual full prelude. So there's two that I picked. There's the 2007, it's the full HBO broadcast, so it's over 3 hours, or there's the 2010 broadcast, which is on Speed Channel, and that's 2 hours. So which one do you guys want to pick? The longer one or the shorter one?
Yeah, I'll let Rob pick this since this is his realm.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, I'm good with either one of these, to be honest with you. Truelove, what do you think? You're going to pick the short one, aren't you?
I mean, 2 hours is basically 3 hours anyway, so
let's watch the HBO one. Fuck it.
I was going to say, the HBO one I feel like is probably the better broadcast and probably has some more interesting footage and stuff in it. So, all right,
fine.
2007 prelude it is.
Fuck yeah, this is good news.
NASCAR drivers running dirt late models. What more could you ask for? So
not much.
Yeah, so that's video of the week next week. And yeah, no NASCAR this weekend. No, just like we said, watch whatever short track shit you can. I may be at Fremont on Saturday. We'll see what happens. Rob, I'm assuming, will be at Claremont.
Absolutely.
And Truelove, what are you going to do with your off weekend?
I'll be at home watching this 3-hour race.
Yeah, there is racing to watch if you follow along with the video of the week segment. Let me just see if I can find what's happening on Prime and if Flo has anything happening. So if you're feeling like you're missing out, there may be some racing to watch on Prime, and the answer is no, nothing.
Well, you tried.
Yeah, oh well.
I mean, if there's anything on Dirt Vision, I can watch that. So.
Yes, and there is. It's the Eagle Nationals, so that's a great show. 3 days worth. So yeah, go ahead and check that out, folks.
Well, just remind me.
Oh, I will.
Cool. Well, as always, you can follow us on Instagram and YouTube at meetmeatapplebees. I am Speedway Screens and all the things. SpeedwayTSJ.etsy.com is the shop, and MMA Applebees at checkout for 15% off.
It's still Snake Mountain Truelove. Please send me your favorite Kasey Kahne Crock Pot recipes. Maybe I'll change my handle to Kasey Kahne Crock Pot Truelove.
That's the most enthusiastic share we've had, so thank you.
It's Kasey Kahne Crock Pot. It brings it out of me.
I think there is a market for that content, so I'm excited to see it.
You should film a cooking video with your Kasey Kahne Crock Pot and put it on the Instagram page.
Oh, I gotta have some recipes first.
Well, I can tell you the first thing you need to pick up is a bunch of cream of mushroom soup from Walmart, because that's pretty much every crock pot recipe has a can of that in there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Rob Motes _ on official on Instagram. Thanks to everyone who came out to the Charlie Marie show over the weekend. That was a lot of fun. I know nobody who listens to this show was there, so I don't know why I said that, but still, thank you. We'll have some more shows coming up, and I'll talk about it there. And it's actually the USA Nationals that are happening at Cedar Lake. I think I said the Eagle Nationals, and that's incorrect. But, yeah, watch that on Dirt Vision. And, looking forward to watching the Prelude. That's fucking awesome. Great video pick.
I figured you guys would like that, so.
Yeah, should be good.
Cool. Well, with that, the check is here. So thanks for joining us again at Applebee's, and we'll talk to y'all next week.